Hello everyone, welcome to GB Bricks. In today's video, I thought because of the upcoming release of 31167 being the Haunted Mansion from LEGO, we'd have a look at the set that inspired it and do a retro review of 10228 The Haunted House. It's released in 2012 and is a set that I have in my collection, so yeah, I thought we'd do a review of it and perhaps have a look at the comparison of the new set, albeit with pictures because it's not actually out yet. So what do I think of that retro set? Well, let me tell you. So here we have LEGO set 10228. This is the Haunted House, which was part of the Monster Fighters line. And this particular model was available from the 1st of September 2012 until the end of 2014. I picked this one up with my wife, as she is now, but she wasn't then. We were out in Brighton, which is in the south of England, for a few days away. This is a time before kids and all the rest of it, and we went into the Lego store down there, and she was not into Lego at all. She probably hadn't even heard the word since she was a kid, and I told her that I'd collected it over the years, although at that point I wasn't collecting it quite so much because getting older and mortgages and things to pay. But we went into the store there and we saw this set. She saw it actually and she loved it, and we bought it together, and it was the first of many sets now that we bought together. So yeah, this one's quite special, and it's a great set to boot. What I love about it first and foremost is the fact that it is actually a dollhouse set. That means it's not modular. You can't pick parts of it up like you can with a lot of the Lego buildings these days. Instead, you open it up like so to reveal the interior of the house. Just move that forward a touch. So as you can see, you've got a number of different rooms in there, and we'll look at the figures in a minute specifically. But whilst there's not a huge amount going on in here, it gives enough of an impression of exactly what sort of house this is. Obviously it's in a dilapidated state. You've got kind of an attic up here with this staircase that breaks down to allow figures to access it, which is a nice little touch. Again, a couple of rooms with tables and bottles of wine and whatnot, which is quite funny when you think of the line from Dracula, or of him saying, "I don't drink wine." And again, you've got small details down here. This can fold across the fireplace to be in line with the chimney stack, of course. You've got the kitchen down here, which is for this character specifically, and you've got another couple of rooms up here. One with a bed in it, as you can see there, and one with some cupboards behind Lady Dracula there. Let's fold it back up for a minute and just have a look at it from the four sides outside. So a big part of this is obviously getting across that feeling of it being broken and, as I said, dilapidated, abandoned, and you've got a lot of slats on the window, planks of wood, and broken shutters to show that. You have a good use of these details here, obviously meant to be parts of the building that are broken and out of place, and you have that obviously along the front of the building, and that's a theme that's carried on up the top here too. To open it up, again dollhouse style but the other way round, so you can see all of it at once. You've got a decent use of masonry bricks here with the nougat colour in with that sand green, which is a great choice for this house, by the way. That was an inspired choice to have that. I'm not sure how used this colour was back then, and you can see some difference in the bricks. Some of that will be over time, of course, but some of that is just the fact that the bricks weren't always quite consistent in their colour across one from the next. But there's a very good use of colour here. The black, the sand green, and that grey go very well together. And you also have smaller details like these bushes. These are very brittle, by the way. These become very brittle over time, so you need to be careful with these. But there's two of those, one at the front and one on the side of the house too. Another feature I really like is the use of this chimney stack to be obviously the part where the house does fold out. Basically the hinges, I think that's very well hidden, and I just think this looks great in general. I think that's a very nice piece of design work there. Lots of different types of bricks used to create almost like a greebling effect in terms of this chimney stack. I think that works very well indeed. And obviously, because of the dollhouse nature, it's not set on a base plate, it just uses regular plates instead, which gives it a decent feel of sturdiness as you have it displayed. It's quite tall as well. In fact, the height is taken up a tiny bit more than you'll see here, because there is a bat that perches itself on here. Unfortunately, I dropped him when I was making my way up the stairs with this. I'm sure he's about, I couldn't find him, and I need to get this done. I'm pushed for time today, that he would sit here and just extend that height slightly. And as well as all of that, you do get this front gate to sit in front of the model and have that kind of ominous feel of going inside or not, as probably the case should be. This is something they repeated for the Hocus Pocus house. What's it called? The Sanderson sisters house. They did something similar with this kind of, detachable or not detached at all really, part of the model that just sits in front, doesn't actually attach in any way. I'll be honest, this is the weakest part of the set for me. It's quite literally the weakest part. It's very brittle these days. These bricks haven't aged very well in terms of their clutch power, but also I just don't think it looks as good not being attached. I feel they could have had it attached and still not interfered with the mechanism of it opening, and it could have sat fairly close and been quite strong still, in my opinion, but they chose not to have that be the case. Instead, you just place it like so. Let's look at the minifigures in this set now then, and you get 6 in total, being a vampire, vampiress, a monster cook, like a zombie cook, a Frankenstein's monster, and 2 of the more traditional ghosts that Lego used to do, I suppose still do sometimes. It's a great cast of characters for this particular house, and the theme as a whole had some great characters in it. In Legoland, certainly Windsor, the one that we go to most as a family, they do have a Monster Fighters haunted house that you go to. It's a ride where you sit in and the room shakes as you sit in there, and a lot of these characters are used in that presentation. So this set, just for so many reasons, has a lot of nostalgia for me. Let's look at them individually then. Let's start with the vampire. So you got your classic vampire, as you would expect ever since the Bela Lugosi days, basically, with the parted hair almost, the quite evil looking face there actually, not quite the charm of some vampires. Double-sided, the other side. So yeah, that one's perhaps a little more calm. You have a 2-part cape, so you've got the cape itself of course, and then you've got the collar. I think that looks really nice, very effective, and his clothing is great. Very brittle, this set. Something I would say about, obviously it came out in 2012, so I've had it some 12-13 years from when I actually bought it, but the figures, or just the bricks in general, as you can see, come apart very easily now. There's very little clutch power left in those. So if it's a set you're looking to pick up, unless mine is just the exception, which I wouldn't understand why, I've not done anything to it, then just be aware of that. It might be one you want to try and source new. If you're buying it used, that may be a problem for you too. But there's the vampiress. Again, really good face there. Is she double-sided? She is. Her more angry side is there, with that dress. Using one of the dress pieces, of course. Here's the monster chef, or the zombie chef. Some back printing on him. We have the Frankenstein's monster, and as you can probably see, his head is a separate piece that you can take off. So there he is without that on. One-sided in terms of his face, and yeah, that just moves his eyebrows out a bit, and obviously adds the large bulbous head that we come to expect from any representation of kind of a Mary Shelley's Frankenstein monster. Finally then, you have the 2 ghosts. As I said, these do remind me of the classic Lego ghosts from kind of late 80s, early 90s. You got in a lot of castle sets. They're made up with, as you can see, a minifigure torso, 1x2 white plate, a black minifigure head, and a 1x2 brick. And then on top of that, you put the ghost costume, and there they are. These did glow in the dark back in the day. They don't glow in the dark anymore. Now in terms of value for this set, it cost £149.99 when it released back in 2012. For this price you were getting 2,064 pieces and 6 minifigures, 2 of which were stated to be unique to this set by brickset.com, and obviously we've had a look at those figures. They are great, and it was a line on the whole, the Monster Fighters theme of course, that was really quite, I don't know if underrated is the right word. I'm sure it had its fans, and certainly these days people look back on it with a lot of fondness, but I don't know how well it did at the time. Obviously it didn't last a huge amount of time, but it really was a theme that hit all the right notes. It had small sets, had larger sets like this. There was another one called something like the Vampire Castle as well, and you know, it just catered for everyone, which is something that Lego don't necessarily do these days. So you could have a higher priced set within a theme like this if it meant that you had other options, and if that was past your budget, there were other things you could do. Throw in the minifigures that in this set alone are fantastic, but aside from this set you had other fantastic monsters in this theme, things like Creature from the Black Lagoon or an approximation of him. I feel that the dollhouse nature of the set ties into its value because I think it's something that's not done as much in Lego as perhaps it should be. It's a fantastic feature. Obviously it's almost been pushed aside for modulars these days, and even the colour scheme, you know, that sand green and black, A, looks great, but B, unless I'm mistaken, and I could well be, it's a while ago now of course, they were just, colours were certainly the sand green at least, that you didn't get as much back then, so to get a pack with as many of them in as this was really great to have. So having a quick look at the Haunted Mansion, set 31167, obviously the new release, releasing in the next couple of weeks from Lego, being a creator 3-in-1 set, but being the inspiration for this video really, wanting to show off the model that inspired it, being this haunted house. So this new one is 736 pieces, obviously a lot cheaper to buy. It's £79.99 or your regional equivalent. It's a 3-in-1 set as I mentioned, so as well as the mansion itself, you can create a ghost train or a ghost ship. The train is a nice nod because the Monster Fighters range had a ghost train being one of the sets you could buy. It obviously looks quite similar at first glance in terms of the overall aesthetic of the mansion if you're building that one. Has similar features such as the sand green colour, the use of the nougat masonry bricks, the black used for the roof, some of the pillars used in the grey. Yeah, very similar look and feel to it. You get 5 minifigures this time, being a werewolf, a vampire, a ghost with a glow-in-the-dark cape, Frankenstein's monster and a skeleton, and it does open up in a dollhouse fashion to a smaller degree of course, as you would expect for that price point, and on the whole it's a nice nod to this set. For a far cheaper price than this one, if you're looking to pick it up. I mean, even back in the day this was more expensive, but these days you're looking at £300–400 if you want to grab this one on the secondary market. So there you have it then, that's my retro review for the Haunted House. A great set, a one I bought about a year after its initial release, so about 2013 I picked it up, and yeah, have it to this day, have it displayed to this day. I'm looking forward to the new set, albeit I don't think it's one necessarily that I need for the obvious reason I've got this one. But do let me know down below if you own this set, what do you think of it, or are you looking forward to the new set that will release very soon. Do feel free to watch some more of my content or subscribe if you like what you've seen, and until next time, happy building.